Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. Why did the DOD45 show cross the road? To get to episode 77, you nitwit, looky what we have here. Finally, I've been wanting to have stand-up comedians as DOD45 guests forever now, and it's just our luck we've landed one this week with our guest. Comedian, content creator, Twitch streamer, and self-described weeb, Lisa Wallen. We have a very satisfying chat with Lisa, covering a plethora of things, including Jimmy Carr's invitation to audience heckling, an old Madea joke of Lisa's that prompted a shocking response from an audience member, her opinions on comedy today and comedy from the 90s, which spot she would rather visit on vacation, the Mona Lisa or the Great Wall of China, and which celeb she'd rather have a date with out of Charlie Sheen in Wall Street or Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street, of which she begrudgingly chooses one. You can expect some laughs, and you can expect we talk about anime and her recent trip to Japan, but you probably never imagined we'd also have conversation over people like Lee Majors, Lee Trevino, Lisa Simpson, Lisa Loud, who the fuck is Lisa Loud? Bruce Lee, and Jet Li. And how do you think Lisa answers the question if she'd rather be in a book club or a biker club? You'll have to watch to find out. If you're a fan of comedy, if you're a fan of anime, if you're a fan of Twitch, what the hell am I getting at? If you're a fan of our show, then slap some duct tape over your mouth, slip some toothpicks into your eyelids, dim the house lights, release whatever you have left in your guts now so you don't project it out of your non-duct tape hole during this episode, and enjoy our discussion with the hilarious and lovely Lisa Wallen on this episode 77 of the DOD45 Show. Peace. DOD45. Okay, greetings, Earthlings. Welcome, everybody. We are at DOD40. Man, do you suppose I have been slipping a lot like words? Did I just say DOD45 correctly?
I think so. I didn't notice anything weird.
I've been saying words weird.
Maybe you've been saying weird words.
Our company used to be called Weird Chief Pictures. Can you spell weird?
There's many things I can't spell, and weird is one I can.
All right. Well, we're in December, so we've got some stuff on sale at the artbytie.com website. All the books are in stock now. Got the 4 different books: the Ink Tiber book, the Book of Arms, the Under an Hour book, the book you and I did together. The children's book, we finally got those in stock. People have been asking about those forever, and we just haven't had them in stock forever. So yeah, it's 4 books, right? Am I missing one?
The Doodles.
Got those, yeah, 4. So 4
Doodles,
books.
Inktober,
Doodles,
Last
Inktiber, Book of Arms, yeah, and the children's book. That's it. I'm looking at myself on the screen here, and I've
backwards.
No.
My watch is actually on this hand.
I don't operate that way though. But I noticed in an episode that we were watching when we were watching the premiere of an episode, this finger's fucked.
I was gonna when you were drawing it for Tommy. I was gonna say Tom.
Oh, that's right.
I was gonna be like, you should push it out a little bit.
I should have. Oh, dang.
But we were talking about other things. I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I was like, I talk with my hands a lot, and I was watching. I was like, that fucking thing looks like. There's a trick you can do.
It's waving.
There's a trick you can do with a spoon. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
How you bend a spoon?
Yeah. Is
that working?
No.
It's bending. Look at it bend.
It's not working.
Oh, well. Okay. So get yourself there. You can order the bundle of books, the whole bundle. But yeah, just go on to artbytie.com to do some of your Christmas shopping. A bunch of your family members or yourself are Art by Tie fans. So do yourself a favor and get some Art by Tie work for Christmas. It's possible the later you wait, you're not even going to get it in time for Christmas because shipping is. I'm just going to go on record right now and say I'm almost fed up with it, but I can't deliver all these pieces on my own. But we've had lots of problems with every shipping service.
We've tried them all.
Yeah.
Except for DHL, but I think they're only international.
Yeah, they are. I don't know. It's so frustrating. I cannot believe it. It's just so bad.
You know who the only one who seems to work is Amazon.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I don't know how we stock up Amazon. I don't even want to be on Amazon. Sorry. Edit that out. I don't like Amazon.
One other thing, some giveaways.
No,
You're always ordering from Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's at our house every day. Something new is always here. It's like, oh, look, that new garden thing. Oh, wow, look at those new lights. That's fun.
Okay, 70, 80 episodes later with 80 new shirts.
I don't order from Amazon. I order from artists.
Okay.
Castle on, Strange Famous.
Even still.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the money of it. It's always from Amazon.
Well, that's because I can't just run. It's either that or I'm going to go to Walmart and handle it.
Understood. I hate Amazon.
Sixes. They're both. It's sixes.
What do they call it? The two evils or whatever.
There's
Catch
the devil.
22. Remember, that was how it was when we were first starting out, when we were real broke and we were shopping at Walmart all the time. And we kind of knew all the bad things back then, and we were just like, well, shit, I mean, saving the amount of money you save.
Well,
all that's changed now, right?
No, I still have to shop at Walmart.
No, I'm saying all
that.
that's changed, that Walmart's not necessarily the cheapest place anymore.
Nothing's cheap.
I know.
I just had to rent a Costco.
Yep.
Olive oil. Guess how much I spent?
$90.
It was $50.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have olive oil to last for the week.
We go through a lot of olive oil.
We do. Because we don't do butter. Right? I mean, that's why.
And that's kind of my cheese substitute, because I'm making roux and doing different things with using that fat base instead of other fat.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
I see you glaze over. What?
Well, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't what yeah, well, it's fine. So the Christmas episode's coming up December 20th. It's the Strange Famous Christmas special. So there's gonna, during that episode on the live premiere of it, there will be a bunch of giveaways. We're gonna be giving away a bunch of stuff. So if you have something that you want to promote, we're accepting stuff to give away as gifts for our prizes. So try to get in touch with us ASAP, because you probably got a couple of weeks, because the episode airs on the 20th.
Mm-hmm. And they could probably ship them directly from there.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
the winner.
If you have something that you want to give away, yeah, we'll market it.
Trust, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll trust you to ship it to the winners. Yeah, so please get in touch with us at DOD45.com or artbyty.com. You can hit me at ty@artbyty.com or ty@DOD45.com.
If they're having a problem getting a hold of you, should they email me?
Yeah, you can also email Adrian at Adrian at
Old Blue. Is that what my email is?
No, Adrian at artbyty.com.
Oh, that's right.
You also have an Adrian at oldbluegng.com, but I don't know if you get that.
I don't know. Adrian at Art by Ty. That's it.
Adrian at artbyty.com. Because, yeah, we want to give away your stuff and we want to promote your stuff. And the more giveaways, the better. The episode is going to be me drawing something Christmas themed, and a bunch of people from the Strange Famous Records label will also be drawing with us, and Adrian.
And you can draw along as well.
And the point is, yeah, for you to draw along with us. So the holidays are a time when you're gathered with your families. So we would prefer you to, if you want to win prizes, you should watch it on the premiere night, December 20th. But throughout the holidays after the 20th, after you watch the premiere and win your prizes, and you have family over for Christmas or whatever, and they're like, what should we do tonight? You can go, hey, you know what? Let's draw along. Let's watch the episode. Is this going to be a proper drink and draw? What do you mean?
Like, are we going to be drinking?
I
won't get Strange Famous drunk.
No.
Again.
And a lot of them don't even drink. Sage doesn't drink. What?
All of them don't drink.
And most of them don't anymore.
I drink for all of them.
The meter maids do.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
No, the meter maids, no. The ones in Arizona do.
Jiving Scientist. Yeah, speaking of Arizona.
Segue.
Good segue. We're going to be in Tucson this weekend for the 4th Avenue Street Fair. That's pretty much where we cut our art fair teeth. We used to do the 4th Avenue show, and we used to go to Tucson all the time. It was a place that we spent a lot of time there, and we haven't been there in about 5 or 6 years, and I got a lot of great memories from Tucson. So yeah, we're gonna be back for the show because, as any of you that watch the show regularly, you know, our truck blew up. I mean, our Sprinter van blew up. So we got to take on as many shows as possible to pay off our
In a
new
year.
truck and our new trailer and our new blah, 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 and our blah, 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 blah,
And
blah.
our dishwasher.
And our
broke
dishwasher.
For Thanksgiving that we're hosting. Everything. It adds up.
It does.
Adds up to nothing.
But yeah, well, hopefully, while we're in Tucson, hopefully we're going to be able to hang out with the fellas, at, the Jiving Scientists fellas, while we're there. And were you going to mention anything about Tucson? Because I was going to say other things.
Catch a javelina and ride it around.
Right. Their fur looks kind of spiky.
Well, we're my chaps.
I've been hearing a lot of the word Tucson recently. Like our guest, who's going to be up next week, or is expected to be up next week, Taryn Manning. She was born in Tucson. Adam Sandler's sister lives in Tucson. She just had some sort of hospital health scare or something, and I saw him on, maybe it was Jimmy Kimmel or something, and he stopped in the middle of the interview and said, "Hey, I just want to give thanks to some doctors at the hospital at Tucson." Which was a cool move. Like, it was right in the middle of his interview, and he was like, "Hey, do you mind? I just want to give thanks to..."
Yeah.
He seems like a really cool dude. Our first real road trip, actually, as a married couple and a family, was to Arizona. That was our...
Tucson.
To Tucson. We had just had our daughter, Nale. She was, a few months old?
Weeks.
Because I remember we were driving on the highway and like you had to hop in the back because she'd be in the car seat, but she needed to be fed.
She was so new, and I didn't know what to do. I think she was like 3 weeks. Could have been 3 months. I don't know. That's a blur.
She was a baby.
But you know how you drive. Babies need to eat, and I was a new mom. I was scared to take her out, so I just
Breastfed her in the
like a
car
cow.
seat.
Molly, I hope you didn't listen to that. That's an awful visual.
You know what's weird though? That was our first time to Tucson. We weren't there. We weren't going there for an art festival. We went in our old 4Runner truck. We were going there for a film festival, the International Film Festival. The Tucson International Film Festival, because my short movie Waiting had been accepted into the festival, and the premiere was there downtown. I can't remember what
that theater behind the downtown area.
Yeah,
kind of by the tracks.
How weird! And then just a few years later, we were going to Tucson like 2 or 3 times a year.
That's and I bought Nale. I think I bought them both. One of those tiny little guitars, the buy-sell guitars. And I threw out the lid of the box that it came in and was busking.
Oh, that's right. She was like, what, 3 years old or something?
4.
Busking. Yeah, on the curb.
Like, do I allow this or do I not? Because it's kind of embarrassing. I'm not asking for money. She's just doing this thing.
Oh, I remember that. That was in front of that church.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures or video of that at all?
You know, that hard drive died, and I just
shit.
reached out to a company. They said it could be between $500 and $3,000 to try to.
Bummer.
So I'm gonna send it in and hope that it's.
Well,
I want to find a different company. That seemed a little pricey, but maybe not. He says the longer you wait, the more deteriorated they get.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the hard. Just as another segue, we have some guests. Well, maybe I don't want to mention that about Slughead coming up, because I was just thinking about her playing the guitar out there on the curb at 3 years old, and now.
But she's not going to be playing the guitar.
No, I know, but were we going to say that Slughead is just this band Slughead and not anything else?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll worry about it. Well, yeah, for an upcoming episode, we have...
I'm sure it'll get into the fact that they're ours.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So on December 27th, a couple of days after Christmas, on the December 27th episode of the DOD45, our guests will be a band called Slughead. And their album release show is going to be on December 28th at the Mark of the Bistro in downtown Salt Lake City, 666 South State Street. And yeah, it's their album release show. And Slughead is our daughter Nale and our son Sol. So we're going to have them as guests on the DOD45 show. Anyway, so that's why I got to that, because you were talking about Nale when she was 3 years old playing an old cheap buy-sell guitar out there on the curb. And now here they are with their album release show 15 years later. Okay, so
That was pretty quick math.
you know me.
Figuring it out.
I'm
still counting it.
I'm shit at words.
17, 18.
I'm shit at words, but I'm fantastic at math. I enjoy math. Let me do my movie share. My movie share for today is a movie called Boy. It was the first Taika Waititi movie that I saw, and I remember feeling
That's him?
Yeah, I remember feeling really connected to it, like the similarities in that movie with the character. What did I say? Similarities. See,
Simulation.
I can fucking do math in a heartbeat, but give me a word like similarities, and I farted up. The similarities in that movie with the characters and the people in the cultural happenings in that movie, I experience are like similar to what I experienced growing up, like real vivid memories of just those, that being. They are from New Zealand, but they're still, they're Polynesian. It was the first movie that I saw that was like, not the first movie, but one of them that I felt so connected to it. Like they were telling my family's story. I laugh, I cry, I get the real feels from the movie. The best scene that cracks me up every time is the classroom scene at the first. The teacher's yelling at the two kids are yelling at each other, saying to shut the fuck up, and then the teacher's like, shut the fuck up. I don't know, it's great. And then also the breakdance scene. Boy's like, I can breakdance.
I don't remember.
And their accent, I love the New Zealand accent. I've said it before. And it's sort of similar to the Samoans' accent when they're speaking English in Samoa. It's kind of similar to not the Samoan accent. How am I saying that? When they're speaking English in Samoa, their accent is kind of like a New Zealand accent.
It's fairly close.
Yeah, it's just similar. It's just funny to hear them. Anyway, the movie takes place in New Zealand in the 1980s. It's about an 11-year-old boy who lives on a farm with his younger brother, Rocky, who thinks he has magical powers. They also live there with their grandma and a goat. Shortly after their grandma leaves for a week, Boy's father appears out of the blue. And Boy had imagined this heroic version of his dad when he was growing up during his absence. But he soon realizes that his dad's an incompetent hoodlum who's just returned to find a bag of money that he left there years before. That's the main plot and where the arc begins. Plot. God dang. Keep doing it because I've noticed when I'm rewatching episodes back, I'm completely...
Well, just don't cut it out.
No, I won't. But yeah, we laugh now, but wait until you're feeding me through a straw and I'm like...
Oh, I'll send you away for that.
Okay.
Sure.
That's where the main plot... That's the main plot, and then the goat plays into that from there. Taika has taken some knocks recently because of his recent movie, the Thor movie.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that really has much to do with him. When you're working in a universe, in the Marvel universe, they probably didn't allow him to do anything, make any sort of artistic choices there. But he has taken a lot of shit for that. And he's also on the telly a lot, promoting stuff. And I think he's kind of oversaturated the market with his, selling himself. So that kind of gets old. So I think that's why people are kind of fed up with him. But he's a really good filmmaker. He continues to tell Polynesian stories, and I absolutely love that. Not many Pacific Islanders there's not many voices for Pacific Islanders in the movie on that level to hear from. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to his newest soccer movie coming out. It's probably out by now, especially since we have two nieces who are currently in the Solomon Islands playing for the Samoan women's team on the soccer team. So anyway, that's my movie share, Boy. Real quickly, my song share is a song called The Hair Receding by Xenia Rubinos. It's a real interesting sound.
Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right thing, yeah. Big time, no bigger money, yeah. It's the big guns shooting us down. Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right.
Check that song out. Adrian, do you have any song shares?
Yeah, this one's kind of a chill one, a fun one. Antidote. So
Antidote.
Now I'm doing it.
The antidote.
Antidote.
Yeah, we tend to leave the C out of anecdote. The anecdote.
By Orion Sun.
I woke up in my bed. It's so damn hot in here. I got your message. city dread. They tattle tell like birds. Just wanna be your friend and go downtown in the evening, sharing secrets. I promise.
Does that name ring a bell?
Kind of does, but I don't know.
That's the girl that Nolly met at Mind the Gap Fest.
Mind the Gap Fest. Oh, yeah. Oh, she did. Nolly did a drawing, painting
Yes.
of her.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's good. I was jealous.
Jealous that.
See her because we were doing something. We're out of town or something.
Yeah, we were at a show. Oh, cool. That's a great song share. Do you have a movie share?
I don't watch.
I'm going to do your favorite bit, a quote real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This quote is, now listen to it. Don't just check out, because listen to this quote. It's funny. Humans are the only species that will sit in front of each other and make noise into each other's faces while eating and drinking, sometimes for hours at a time. Now, this sounds very much like an Alex Boynton quote.
I think apes do.
Probably primates, but sitting around making noise into each other's faces while eating and drinking, sometimes for hours at a time. I think that
Does he mean talking?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's an Alex Boynton quote. Usually, if I don't write out who said it, it was something that I thought. But that sounds very much like Alex Boynton, or who else would say something like that? Or even Mr. Dibbs.
The one who wrote.
Not
that
Alex
book.
Boye. The guy who worked on my film, Alex Boynton, also the artist who used to be at the Submerged in Art shows.
There's a Boynton author,
No, yeah.
children's author.
He's the one where I first heard the term Bob's your uncle from, and I laughed for fucking hours.
I did have an Uncle Bob.
Yeah, and then I realized that that's a kind of a common term, but not really. No one uses that term. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was an interesting quote. I wish I could credit whoever. But again, it's almost like a Mr. Dibbs kind of quote, too.
I don't find it interesting.
The whole part of sitting in front of each other, talking and making noise, just making noise into each other's faces, because that's basically what we do. That's funny to me. Well, now we don't do it in each other's faces. We do it into a screen.
Right next to each other.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else before I go into a few things about our guest?
Nope.
All right. Our guest today is Lisa Wallen, or Lisa Wallen, as she often says it. She's an LA-based but Seattle-raised stand-up comedian, a Twitch streamer, content writer, and an on-camera host, emo kid, and professional weeb who, quote-unquote, talks too much and has a lot of dorky tattoos. Here's my old man coming out here. Here's a couple of words I had no idea.
Pretty young.
I think she's in her early 30s, yeah. Here are some words I had no idea existed. Otakus. That's a Japanese word, and it's a word for enthusiasts of all things anime. And a weeb, W-E-E-B, is a term for a non-Japanese person who is so obsessed with Japanese culture that they wish they were actually Japanese. Usually used in anime and manga world. God dang.
Do you remember that one song?
Manga.
I think I'm Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese.
Yes.
Is that?
I don't think so.
No, I think so.
Oh, I thought it was I think so.
It is. I think so.
Oh man, my brain is toast. And I said not manga.
Big difference.
It is a huge difference. Oh Jesus.
What kind of flag is a manga flag?
Otaku also is usually used in Japan, but weeb is referred to in all to a non-Japanese person. Also, I read somewhere that otaku is generally regarded as an offensive word due to the negative cultural perception of withdrawing from society.
See.
However, the otaku philosophy of living has gained traction among Japanese youth and adolescents.
Maybe it's not something that non-Japanese people
Maybe
should
not,
do.
yeah. But it's likely a reaction to the established culture of intense work and academic studies. That was
They
just
do
something.
have intense
Yeah.
work and academic studies.
Yeah.
Like super intense.
I was trying to figure out where I first saw clips of Lisa's stand-up. Initially, I thought it had something to do with the comedian Brad Williams. That was someone we went and saw at Wise Guys. But I don't think that's where I discovered her anymore because I haven't never seen her in person. But I feel like that had something to do with it. But I don't. I must have seen some clips of her on YouTube or on TikTok or something.
Maybe on your reels.
Maybe, but I don't watch reels that much. The only place that it's got to be I know she's got a big TikTok following, but I'm never like on TikTok, so I wouldn't have thought it was there.
But you found her either way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm just saying it must have been through YouTube, and I'll get to why I'm not sure of that, but why it was. Admittedly, when I was younger, I didn't get the woman perspective, so I didn't have a lot of women comedians that I liked.
Yeah, you didn't have sisters, but you had cousins.
Yeah, but so that's what I was gonna say. I'm a huge Joan Rivers fan, but that came later. 2 boys, just me and my brother, grew up in the house. We played sports. Like, we didn't get a whole lot of female perspective. We did have women or female cousins, but we didn't get their perspective. We just play, like, you don't think something. I don't know. There was something why I didn't get it, but I have evolved.
Although your cousins, you wouldn't have to worry about.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, it was just a different thing. But I have evolved as a human, learned shit tons from you. We've been married for a very long time, 21 years, 23 years. And so, yeah, what was I getting? I just lost my, yeah, we got married in 2000, right? 2002. So 21 years. But we've been together since 1998. So, yeah, long time.
7.
Well, yeah, you're graduated in 98. I guess we started. Okay. Anyway, my point is I have evolved and so I'll be honest with you. I'd say now probably 6 of my top 10 favorite stand-ups are women. Sarah Silverman, Sarah Pascoe, Wanda Sykes, Catherine Ryan, Carrie Godleman, and Fern Brady. Also, there's fucking way more than that. So yeah, the reason my point is with that is it had to have been from YouTube because I cruise YouTube a lot and my algorithms. Yeah. And I'm watching, I'm a dork for stand-up comedy. So, the clips, my first clips probably of her were on there. She's funny too. She reminds me a lot of our niece Faith, a lot.
Oh,
there's
really?
there's a bubbliness and like I don't know. She kind of looks a little like, maybe not. I don't know. She just reminds me of Faith. So, all right, enough ramblings from me. Like I said, I've been a dork for stand-up comedy for a long time, and I've been wanting to have stand-up comedians on the show for a long time. She'll be our official first stand-up comedian guest. Yeah, I think right. We've never had another.
I don't.
It's somewhere where I want to go more often.
Yeah.
I want to have a lot more stand-up comedians, and I'm glad that she's going to be our first. So I should stop talking, and we should just meet her. So we'll be right back with Lisa Wallen, aka Lisa Wallen.
Hey, what's up, podcast world? This is AWOL1, and one of my favorite shows is DOD45 with Art by Ty. And today we have a special guest, West Coast Zone, Lisa Wallen. So check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Ty of Art by Ty, and with my co-host, Adrian Taiwali'i, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two.
DOD45.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah, I just never use Zoom, so I'm like having to mess with all my settings.
Zoom's this is what we have, an 18-year-old daughter, she's 17, but Zoom's like an old man, old people app.
Very corporate of you. Oh my God, I love your guys' setup. Oh my God, your art. Wow.
Well, thank you.
I love it. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Welcome to thank you. Welcome to the DOD45 show, and thanks for joining us. I just picked up a cold yesterday, and good thing it's not.
I just got over the worst jet lag of my life, and it took me a week, so
Oh.
I was basically sick.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that jet lag's awful. Well, traveling.
Were you going from a different country?
Yeah, I was in Japan and Thailand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that. I want to ask about
Yeah,
that
we'll-
in a little bit.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks again for joining us. For the next 45 minutes, I'm going to draw you a picture and we'll have a discussion.
I love this.
Thank you. I came up with a concept that features Reagan, right? Reagan and Dimple from Mob Psycho 100. Also the main character from Metal Gear Solid.
Snake.
And
Gintoki.
yeah. Okay.
I love it.
My anime knowledge goes as far as Voltron and Akira, because I watched both those when I was a little kid.
Nice.
I didn't do a lot of anime because it was so frustrating to me. It made me feel incompetent as a young artist because I'd see the shit they were drawing. Just that artwork.
I thought it was because you were
world.
too cool for it, but that
Nope,
works
no.
too.
No, not at all. My kids love it. I love it. I just, again, even as an adult and I have a
You're
professional
intimidated
career
by it?
as an artist, I am intimidated by it. I draw for every one of our guests, and it's usually a breeze. And I swear to you, when I was coming up with a concept for this, I was struggling. I really struggle drawing anime. It's really difficult. So, which is amazing because it's actually they're real simple lines. There's a lot of simplistic things
I
to
will
it.
say the Mob Psycho Reagan, he's got a very simple style where Gintoki has more of a basic anime style, and then Snake is like a realism. So you drew 3 different styles just
Yeah.
for one drawing. And when it's not your style, I can imagine it's not easy. So
Well, I like the challenge of it.
nice.
If I just sitting at home, no problem. But while we're interviewing, that's going to make it a little more difficult. But fuck it, here we go. Before I do start the timer, my daughter, right before we were coming out to record, she wanted me to ask a question, and then she said also follow it up with if she doesn't want to bring it up for reasons. You'll know when I get to the question. But she says, are you ever concerned about getting swatted?
Am I?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I think everyone who streams should be, but it also really depends on most people who get swatted. I'm not here to blame the victim, but the certain things that you stream and certain games that you choose to stream attracts a really terrible audience. But I play really niche games like Metal Gear Solid and Yakuza, where most of my audience is just weird autistic guys. Like they're not going to be
Right.
swatting me, but also I know a few people who were swatted that barely even stream. They just had obsessive fans online, and I think there's a big issue right now with parasocial relationships. You guys know what that means?
No,
No.
I also don't even know what swatted is.
So, okay, well, let's start with that. So, swatting is basically where somebody can get, like, doxing is where someone can release your address, your personal information online. But swatting is where somebody calls the cops to have them come to your house saying that there's an issue. And we know how the American police
Yeah.
so
handle
like SWAT
things.
team.
SWAT team.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so-
awful. Like that, someone could actually get killed. Like that is
And
just
many
awful.
people have been from
my God.
police, doing cop shit. So,
Yeah.
but like
Wow.
parasocial relationship is basically where, like, when you're online on social media, people are a lot more personable than they used to be, like in the 90s and early 2000s. And because of that, people who follow you or fan bases come up with this idea that you owe them something.
Right.
Like you owe them their time. Like sometimes when I stream, I like how we're starting this off right in the deep shit. But like when I stream, like I'm very open about my life because I stream for like 20 hours a week. Like I
Yeah.
talk about everything. Like obviously I don't get too personal, but when I start revealing things that are personal, some people feel the need that, oh, she's being very open with me personally and not as an audience. So they'll like try to be more open with me and more personal with me. They'll come with me to advice. And I have to be very much like, no, I am not your
Right.
therapist. I am not your best friend. Like I love my community. I want to meet people, hang out with them, but like I am still an entertainer. And parasocial is where they don't get that.
Right.
Like like you see where people get canceled online. People like go on their personal post, be like, fuck you, blah, blah. That's a that's a form of parasocial relationship where it's like, I have the right to harass this person because they let everything out online. And so swatting is kind of in the same realm of that, where it's like, oh, this doesn't matter because this person is just a person online. Like I can send the cops to their house, they'll be fine. That's not how it works. So I have not worried about it. I have had people cross boundaries with me, especially at comedy shows, and I've had fans cross boundaries with me. But you know, luckily I've never been one to get doxxed or have my address out in the open or anything. And I'm very wary about that. Like I don't tell people where I live. I don't, like it is a real concern, but it's not something that I'm actively like scared of.
Right.
I think my audience is small enough. And I think that I have a really good community. And if I ever get to the point where someone crosses a boundary, I have enough protection around me, which helps. But that is an interesting question. I've never been asked that. So
yeah, she said that. Yeah, that's where we get all of our knowledge of what's happening in the world now is from our kids. She's 17. She's just not like way smarter than I am as an individual.
I will say because she is 17, and if it's something she's considering like streaming or YouTubing and stuff, I don't think that's something she should worry about.
No, yeah, she's not worried about for herself. She's just a lot of the people that she follows. She said that a lot of the community's been talking about it. So she's like, I wonder if I'm
like a little baby compared to most people. But like,
I wish I could say who she watches. Do you know, Adrian? I don't know any of them. It goes
some emo guy.
You should watch me.
She was pretty excited. No, she was pretty excited. She will probably start, but I was we started to watch a little bit of what you were doing last night.
Building the Gundam?
Yeah.
That's my I don't feel like talking to anybody stream. That's what I do for that. Yeah.
Okay, I better start. I'll start this. I will start this. Sorry, usually I start with the light question. But I guess it's a really good question to ask because it's a real concern among people, especially those who want to get into streaming. So, well, and I just learned about this parasocial, and that makes plenty of sense. Like, it's similar to sometimes we'll have people that will think like we're best friends, and we have conversations like best friends, but I'm not getting their side of the conversation. Yeah. So we're not actually best friends because I know nothing about you. And I like the way you put it. We are still entertainers. Yeah. And it's kind of for entertainment purposes.
The worst parasocial thing I get is that someone will send me way too many memes in a day. And it's like, look, buddy.
Yeah.
We're cool, but like I've seen this reel like 17 times. Okay.
All right. The first question that I like to start off with is this show was started as a celebration of inspiring people. Is there a specific person or situation that inspired you to end up doing what you do now?
As a stand-up comedian or a streamer?
As a stand-up comedian, yeah.
Yeah, actually. Well, I started doing stand-up because I am so funny. But also I was at a point in my life, especially because I started in my mid-20s, which we all know mid-20s is an age where it's like I was just told by my high school teachers that I need to figure out what my life is going to be like in the next 10 years. And then you turn 25 and you're like, I don't think I'm ever have a life. And so you get really depressed. And I was like, I need something new. And a lot of people suggested, well, since you don't know how to play an instrument, you might as well do stand-up comedy. It seems like the easiest thing I could try out because if I fail at it, I fail at it. And honestly, I think just turning 25 was my inspiration to doing stand-up. And so, it will be 10 years next year since I started. But getting into like other things, like broadening my horizons, like streaming and taking risk. It was Patton Oswalt's, I think, Talking for Clapping special that came out. It might have been his other, I think it was this one where he talks about his wife that passed away. Right. And he does a whole bit about it. And it was very, very, dark. It was very serious, but he ends it really well. It's a really good bit. And that bit specifically was like, if Patton Oswalt is out here losing his wife because his previous special was about how in love he was, and then he loses her randomly and he still raises their kids together. If he's going on stage and still doing this after going through all that pain, not saying that everyone can do that, it was inspiring for me to be like, there's no reason for me to not take risks. And so now I'm just like open to do so many things creatively because of that one special.
No, that's a great answer. He is really inspirational for sure. Yeah, great answer. We have these things that we do as the Sophie's Choices, so we'll get into a few of those. Would you rather be a sidekick in a Bruce Lee movie or a Jet Li movie?
Bruce Lee.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, Jet Li, yes. I mean, either would be great, but I think Bruce Lee, I appreciate him more as a martial artist than I do as Jet Li. Jet Li is very talented, obviously, but I feel like he's more on an entertainment end for me than Bruce Lee. I grew up on Bruce Lee, so I'm like, I would love to see that shit up close. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
it would be great. So are you a big Bruce Lee fan?
No, but my
okay.
dad, my dad's a huge nerd, so I grew up on old sci-fi and martial arts films growing up. Was forced to watch Star Trek. Now I'm blessed to know that I watched Star Trek young and not have somebody try to show it to me now. But no, I grew up on a lot of old martial arts and old sci-fi movies, not so much like things young girls should be watching, but that's
what makes it cool though.
That was that explains all this right now. So there you go.
What about would you rather so a post-Twitch stream snack, soft ice cream or sherbet?
Ooh, soft ice cream.
Oh,
sherbet is good, but soft ice cream, sometimes I don't want to. Sherbet's usually very sweet. Mm-hmm. Usually I'm not
soft ice cream, not very sweet. I don't really eat the ice cream, but
I feel like isn't sherbet just mainly like fruit and ice?
I feel like it's so sour.
Milk in there.
Oh, is sherbet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I feel like soft ice cream, you have more choices. You have more options.
Yeah, sherbet, you only get like a pink, orange, or
Are you
red.
talking about the machine, the soft serve? Like,
I think that's that's a soft ice. Yeah, the soft ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd still say soft serve, soft ice cream.
Okay, what about this? Who would you rather chance a date with, Charlie Sheen in Wall Street or DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street?
Neither. I would run away from both of them. Charlie Sheen, Jesus. Charlie Sheen wasn't, at least I had some attraction to Leonardo DiCaprio, so I will go with him. Charlie Sheen, nah. He's always been a goof.
Were you a student of comedy or was that just the knack that you had something for? Or I guess, like you said, you didn't really decide to do it until you got into your 20s.
I loved stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I loved going to comedy shows, and I loved watching specials and watching Seinfeld. I grew up on comedy films. I did peek at your questions. My first childhood crush was Steve Martin, which is not
awesome.
A normal childhood crush for a 5-year-old. But again, Dad, stop making me watch all these old man movies. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Jerk. I first watched it when I was like 7 years old and fell in love.
Wow.
And so, I grew up excessively watching comedy. My mom is much funnier than my dad is. I just don't think I made the switch to do stand-up until I decided to do it. I'm a very impulsive person. I didn't start streaming until I decided to stream it one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess so. Usually, when I even ask about that question, because I'm a dork for stand up, Seinfeld. You mentioned Seinfeld, but he is very much like technical. Everything's so technical with his comedy, and it's like it was like that's something that could be taught in a school the way he is with his comedy. But then there's other comedians who are very much just like have funny jokes or they're funny people, and they are real calm on stage. But yeah, I guess that was maybe where I was going with that question. What about this? Which cartoon character would you rather replace for voiceover work, Lisa Simpson or Lisa Loud?
Who's Lisa Loud?
She's like that.
I
I'll
would
figure
say
it out.
Lisa Simpson, but I mean, that's pretty iconic voice to replace. I think I would just end up hating. I would not take the role.
Oh, you would probably get so much hate mail.
I would get so much. I mean, let's be real. Like The Simpsons is making a comeback, but all those voice actors sound like they're dying every time they speak. So imagine voicing Marge for 35 years. Like, go to bed. So,
Were you a fan of Lisa Simpson at all?
I am a massive Simpsons fan.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, see,
Okay,
this-
but that looks like me. So I feel like maybe I would fit her vibe.
I don't know who this is
I
yet.
thought our kids watched that show.
She looks
It
like
was-
Daria, but like a
She does
tiny
look like
version. She's like
Daria.
a chibi Daria. Honestly, that character probably suits me more than Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, she's a genius, a scientist.
Okay, maybe not, but she looks goofy, and that's all that matters.
Okay, how about this one? Which would you rather visit for a vacation, the Mona Lisa or the Great Wall of China?
Great Wall.
Have you been to seen either?
No, I mean I love Asia. I
Yeah.
love Asia, which sounds very dorky, but also like Mona Lisa, iconic, right? But I'm not like an art person. Like I like art. You can obviously see the stream's awesome, but I have tons of art around me.
Plus you love anime.
Yeah, but I also love the outdoors and I love some historical shit. And you know what? A painting's cool, but you know what's even cooler is seeing some temples and some
Hell yeah.
Yeah, seeing a wall of China. There you go.
And you hear often from people how disappointing seeing the Mona Lisa is,
It
actually.
also seems I'm also claustrophobic. So
Yeah.
being in a room with 1,000 people trying to stare at one piece of art versus the Great Wall of China that you can see from outer space seems way more of my vibe.
Yeah. And that Mona Lisa is tiny. I think it's only like an 11 by 14.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah, we had the chance to go to the Louvre and we just skipped it.
Yeah.
Like
I would
oh,
just
no.
go straight to the shop and buy things. That's what I would do.
You know, that is wild that you say you're claustrophobic because you went to Tokyo. Like Japan is incredibly overpopulated.
Yeah, I'm not Tokyo. We only went to Tokyo really because my friend has never been. But luckily, I am a foot taller than everybody, which helps. But yeah, it is very crowded. But here's the thing about Japan versus like other places or even America is that even when it's crowded, you still have your personal space.
Oh.
People are very respectable of their own space because of how crowded it is and because it's such a structured society. It's pretty wild. And there's no litter anywhere and it doesn't smell. So you automatically feel cleaner versus being like in a tight space, like leaving a concert or like a sporting event where everyone's sweaty and drunk. Like there's a big difference, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. What were you there for? And is that your favorite place? And how deep does this Weeb existence go?
I mean, those are all very loaded questions. Japan is my favorite place. This is my 5th visit. Taiwan is actually probably the country I'm most excited to revisit. Now that I've been to Japan so many times. It goes pretty deep. I think my weebery goes so deep that back in 2019, when I flew to Japan, I went to the far west part of it that not a lot of people go to, which is Kyushu. And I went to 17 cities, and every city I went to, I visited their anime sections. So I visit 17 different anime cities.
Well, so does that go with dating though, and like style, and does it go that deep?
Like
You're
dating weebs?
Into Asian men.
No,
Or women.
no.
Japanese men or
I
women.
actually tried to use Bumble when I was there. Not my clientele. You know, for some reason, Japan really does not like tall mixed women with tattoos. It's literally the thing they hate the most.
Is it?
I shouldn't say that, but it is true. Like, awesome. Yeah, Japan's very much like we want clean, petite women, and I'm bigger than most of the men there. So
You're far from a geisha.
if I do end up, if I end up dating an Asian man or an Asian person, then great. But like, it's not something I'm like, I gotta find my anime boyfriend, because let's be real, all the anime dudes are white. They're not. In Japan, they're like, who are these weirdos that keep coming?
Just for. Did you did I saw you did like some stand up there.
Yeah.
But I also read that you did stand up at a non-English speaking club.
I did, but I did English. So
Oh, okay.
luckily, stand up in Japan, Japan's full of subcultures, but like they love live entertainment, and so they're like, we don't care if they speak English or Japanese. We'll go see some stand up. And so when I did it back in 2019, the host said a bunch of jokes in Japanese and English, and he was white, so it really bugged me. I was like, well, way to set the standard. The next comedian was Japanese, and then I went up and I was English, and all of the whole audience understood everything. It was really good. Yeah. The whole audience is full of like expats, foreigners, and Japanese people who love English comedy. So
yeah, that's what I was wondering, if they didn't get it, if they would just like laugh when they thought they were supposed to laugh, or
yeah, no, I luckily, like, I feel like my comedy isn't too complicated to where I think most people could just laugh it off. I also had a couple jokes from like making Japanese puns, because I did learn a lot of Japanese before I went. And Japan just loves puns, so they liked my pun jokes. But no, it was really great. And then when I went and did it this time, it was all English audience. It was all like people from Ireland, people from Europe, people from Australia. It was just all expats and foreigners. There was, I don't think, any Japanese people in the audience.
Oh, yeah. That's fun. I was going to say, Nihongo ga dekumasu ka? That means, do you do Japanese?
Or Nihongo wakarimasu. I did say eigo wa dekimasu ka a lot, which means you understand or can speak English. And normally they would be like, oh, I can speak a little, and they can just speak full on English. I'm like, oh. When I say I know a little bit of Japanese, it means I can ask where the train station or toilet is. Like, that's what I mean by just a little bit of Japanese.
I feel like it's an incredibly difficult language to speak.
It is.
What algorithms are you currently trying to crack? Seems like you have like TikTok and Instagram. Seems like you have most of them figured out.
There's too many. There's too many apps. Like, Twitter was like where I built most of my following from, because I used to do a lot of anime and video game reviews. And then Elon Musk took over, and now everyone's like, now we're going to Blue Sky. Now we're going to Threads. And I'm like, stop making apps. Just fucking kill the man, okay? And then someone else can take over, because I am not downloading another app. I am done with apps. I'm basically mainly focused on Instagram right now. TikTok, I was probably have my most followers, but they're very punishing if you don't stick to one type of branding. And my comedy was like killing it on there, and then suddenly I put gaming stuff, and it was like, whoop.
Is that the algorithms or the followers?
That's the algorithm. So like my stuff was getting no views, versus Instagram, where now I have an account for gaming stuff and I have an account for comedy stuff, and it seems to work out pretty well. And Instagram also is more like, TikTok is just so obnoxious. Like, you turn it on, it's just loud. There's no home screen. There's no personal messages. Like, I just moved to LA. I'm trying to get booked more. Instagram is like, this is all my stuff. These are my pictures. These are my links. Like, it's so much more, it's less violent when you open it. Like, when you open TikTok, it's just, it's so loud.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's too much. Like, I don't need it to be screaming at me when I open up apps.
Would you rather be in a book club or a biker club?
Biker.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not really a book club, but I read a lot of manga. And so I had a group chat of people reading manga, which I guess was my virtual book club. But like, so many of my hobbies are indoors that I will take anything that'll get me out of the apartment.
Oh,
a bike club helps a lot.
How's your vitamin D levels?
They're pretty good, and I live in LA now.
I'm just thinking, like, you're streamer, so you're indoors, stand-up comic, so you're out at night all the time and asleep in the day.
I try to do as much like daytime hiking and walking. Like, I lived in Seattle for my whole life. I've been here for 6 months. I moved here, and everyone's like, oh my God, how are you 33, you have no wrinkles. I'm like, yeah, because I haven't left the house in 33 years. And now I live here and I'm like SPF dousing myself in every day, going out, like wearing hats and long sleeves in hot weather. Like I've become like
Smart.
an old retired person in LA. Almost
And it's
immediately.
such a different place than Seattle.
Yeah, and that was another reason why I went on my trip is that like I traveled a lot before the pandemic and I wasn't streaming them, and now that I'm streaming, I'm like starting to get antsy about like how much I'm staying indoors, and that was part of the reason why I moved here. Is part of the reason why I went on my trip is I was like I need like a mental reset. So definitely biker.
Yeah, but like with a real gnarly one, or like a
That'd
cool,
be-
like a
if I
like a
could-
Vespa club, or
If
like a
somebody
Harley.
bought me a Harley, that would be fucking sick. Like Vespas, I feel like I would just die on. No, I'm going full Harley. If I'm getting a fucking bike, I'm getting a bike.
What do you suppose are the biggest differences between stand-up comedy of the 1990s and stand-up today?
I think people are too worried about being careful about what they say. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you're a terrible person, people are going to find out in your comedy if you're a terrible person. If your entire existence on stage is to just piss people off and push buttons, people are going to know. But if you're a well-crafted comedian who genuinely wants to make people laugh and wants a positive reaction, people will see that. And I think the people who worry too much about what they are going to say are the people who shouldn't be. But too
Right.
many people now are like, oh, you can't. There's actually a comedian here, Jenny Zagrino, who is one of my good friends. She's amazing. And she has this whole bit where she's like, I'm going to stop telling dudes that I do stand up. And she goes, why? He goes, because I was like, you can't say anything now without offending anyone. And she goes, what do you want to say? And I think social media makes it so much worse because like even when I started doing comedy in 2014, we didn't have reels and TikToks. We didn't have the big social media backup. It was like you filmed the set, you want to get booked, you would send the set to somebody or someone would book you
right.
word of mouth. It wasn't so much of trying to go viral and trying to have shock value. And I think the problem now with stand-up is how easy and accessible it is for everybody to do that. Because people, you'll go to a show and you'll see someone filming themselves just to post something on TikTok. And it's like, sorry, I hate doing crowd work. I chose to do stand-up because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wanted them to listen to me. And it's like, if people blow up because they're good at that, then that's great. But like, I do think now, as a comedian, it's important to have other things too.
Yeah.
Podcasting, acting, writing, streaming, anything, solely focusing on one creative outlet as less stress as it is. I don't think it's going to get you what you want. I think ever since I started streaming, I've become a much better comedian. And I've also stopped caring so much about what everyone around me thinks.
Do you think that has some to do with like you're actually talking a lot more too? So your diction, your vocabulary, just you're being able to speak confidently has helped.
And having other outlets, you get more supporters, you get more people who want to listen to you. And I think having positive support makes you only want to do more.
So when you're doing a stand-up gig, do you find most of the people that are there to see it are your followers of your stand-up or followers of your
my
your
stream?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I get a lot of people from my stream come out to shows because they they want to see what else I do, and I love that additional support. It's hard to have stand-up fans unless you have a Netflix special. I do have people come out to shows that are like, oh, I watched your reels and you're really funny, let me come see you do live. But I would say the majority of the support that I have of people who've seen me are people who watch my streams.
Yeah, that's cool. Going back on the conversation that we were just having, I was going to ask, what do you think of like somebody like Jimmy Carr who actually calls on hecklers and like wants heckling to happen at his shows? How does that make you feel?
I think that is a certain type of comedy that he's really good at. I mean, it's like there's all that heat with Matt Rife now, the guy who blew up doing crowd work. He did a real stand-up special and it did not receive well, because I think people who choose certain things in stand-up, like the heckling and the crowd work, that is their craft. My
Yeah.
craft is not that. I wish I could be better at that, but then I've realized I'm just not good at that. So I'm just going to stick to what I know. And that's okay.
Yeah.
The thing is I need the audiences to know that. Don't start
Right.
heckling me and try to.
Like music, with all the different genres of music, comedy is the same. There's a million different styles of comedy as well.
Like, are you an edgelord comedian? Are you silly? Are you clean? Are you like the comedy is so much more there's so much more. Comedy's more broad than people take for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think maybe what I was getting at is, does that, by someone doing something like that, like this, we just saw Jimmy Carr in Chicago, and like, it's really how he's selling that show. Like at the first of it, he's like, send in your heckling questions and stuff. Like, I guess what I'm wondering is, does that start making people feel like, oh, every comedy show I go to, I can be a heckler at?
I just did a show here a few weeks ago where I said, I'm so happy the opener did all the crowd work because I want to talk to any of you guys.
You just put it out there, shut up, sit down and shut up.
People,
Laugh.
I will very much establish, like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm sorry. These are jokes. You're just going to see jokes for 20 minutes. I apologize that you came and expected me to care about what you have to say. And I love it. And the audiences love it because that's what they come to comedy shows because they want to react. And so. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good line. Have you done any Wise Guys shows? Wise Guys in Utah?
I haven't. I'm actually not, it's so funny. I've always been very comfortable where I was at in comedy. Like I was headlining and featuring a lot in Seattle. And now that I live here, I realized, this is what the grind is that getting bookings in LA is so rare because it's like, do they want to see me or they want to see Mark Maron at the Comedy Store tonight for $10? Like it's almost impossible to get a good audience out here because all the big comedians live here and they all perform every single night. So now my big goal next year is to do more stuff out of state because I just realized I won't be getting the stage time here. Like you have to travel to be doing comedy now, which is great. It's a reason for me to get out of my apartment and leave one of my many cats.
Well, I'll definitely recommend you to some people so we know over at Wise Guys. I think you're incredibly funny. So
thank you. Please recommend me to everyone. I'll have a job.
Yeah. Are you?
We're everywhere. We'll just drop your card in every box.
Yeah. We are really all over the country. Do you, so it's my guess that you don't know either of these two men, but, which do you think is actually a golfer? Lee Majors or Lee Trevino?
Lee Majors?
Yeah, these are the two people. Which one do you think? You think Lee Majors is the golfer?
I mean, that name sounds familiar.
It's got a very golfing name.
That sounds like a golfing name, but also could be a meme. So I would say Lee Majors. Yeah,
unfortunately, I wasn't trying to challenge you, but unfortunately, you are wrong. Lee Majors was the Fall Guy, and maybe that's why that's familiar because Fall Guy's coming out right now. Lee Trevino was a golfer.
Interesting question. What made you want me to ask me that?
I know. I was out there.
Well, because what I have exposed over the last few episodes is when I'm doing my Sophie's Choice questions, there's a bit of your name in every single one.
So Lee being Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Nice. Bruce Lee.
It keeps
Simpson.
It somewhat like it's how I continue to keep it a little bit fun for myself.
If that is how you hone your craft, I will accept it. I don't know anything about golfing.
Well, yeah. And what I find too,
I like Wii golf. Like the game.
Yeah, the game Wii. Yeah.
You should start a Weeb golf.
Yeah, Weeb golf. There you
go. So you're out the door for a day. What do you prefer to carry your cash in? A wallet, a purse, or a fanny pack?
Fanny pack.
Oh, sweet. Is
really?
it
I love how
one?
I hate wearing purses. Also, like all my cards are just in my phone. Like I am very minimalist in every way of my life. That's why I have so many tattoos, so I can minimize everything else in my life. I don't need to accessorize ever. My arms are my accessories.
What can you tell us about the Madea joke?
The Madea joke?
Yeah.
What made you ask that question?
Well, because I saw a clip. I saw some sort of clip or something when you were talking. I don't know where I saw
Was
that
it my
clip.
worst comedy, my first bit ever? Oh, yeah. When I first started doing comedy, I didn't know what I was doing. But I really don't like Tyler Perry films. I just genuinely find him to be an obnoxious person. And he also, like, he's just like, doesn't seem like a good dude, which I shouldn't say. But when you read a lot of the internet stuff, I'm like, I get bad vibes. So I made a joke about how there's too many Madea movies and that she's old and she needs to die. And there was one person in my audience who was not happy about that and was like, Medea's my girl. Medea's my girl. And she was like, fuck you, started standing, like screaming at me. I was like, I've never had someone offended by a joke about a fictional character. That was honestly like probably the most awkward moment I ever had on stage. And it's like one of those things where it's like, that happened in 2014. If I filmed that now and went online, that shit would have gone viral because it was it was like I called her a slur. It was like I told this woman her parents should die. I have never seen someone get so upset. And then I ended it with like, well, you're upset, but you have really bad taste in movies. And then everyone started laughing. She ended up getting kicked out. It was like, it was a whole thing.
Good. Are you good in a confrontational moment like that? Because that's a pretty witty, like that's a good way to get yourself out of that. As soon as you start getting the rest of the crowd to turn against
I'm terrible
the
at
person.
it.
Oh, because that was a great answer. Like, you got shitty taste in movies.
I mean, in that, like, yes. But, like, in general, I usually want to shut someone down immediately. But that was such a wild occurrence that I was like, I got to play with this a little. But normally, like, when it comes to being on stage, like, I am such a structured person that I have a rhythm going. And when I break that rhythm, it, like, bugs me. And I can't hide it. Like,
yeah, will you get in your head? It'll start throwing you off.
And I'm like, God
a bit.
damn it, I had this whole thing planned out and you just took that away from me. And I know that's something I need to work on. And a lot of comedians are like, yeah, you got to break that habit. But I'm like, it's so hard when you have like actual mental disorders.
Right.
Yeah. But
yeah, I find that I have great comebacks about 5 hours after the person's left.
Yeah, right. And then I'm like, God damn it, why didn't I say that thing?
Where are you getting all this time to watch all this anime?
None. I had all the time, and then I moved to LA, and now my Twitch stream's like, what are you watching lately? I'm like, nothing. I'm leaving the house. I have a fucking life now.
So it was all pandemic based.
Sorry, guys. I'm not a loser anymore like you are. No, I still watch stuff. There's nothing really right now that I'm into. Like, sometimes with anime, like one season will have like 10 shows I want to watch, and it's very stressful. So, but luckily, because things are episodic, like I've already gotten to the point in my life where I've binged all the things. Now I watch things that are like weekly. It makes it easier to plan, but my schedule right now is so sporadic with moving here that my bigger focus is networking and seeing comedy and streaming more. So it's hard for me to like make time to do things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So is your focus, you're still, you want to reach this massive level in stand-up comedy? Or is it, you don't really care? You like the streaming and comedy. And I mean, not care about.
Moving here is sort of my way of figuring that out, because I was working as a content producer at a esports company, which is, video game stuff. And I really liked doing it, but I had the best job I could get doing it in Seattle. And so in order for me to like move up as like a host or a writer or producer, I'd have to move to LA. And so that's why I came here. And then
Are you still with them then?
No, I actually got laid off like 2 months ago, which is fine. I hated my job. Like, I liked what I did, but then the job progressively started taking away my creative freedom, and I was like, okay, this is not doing it for me. And so now I'm just doing a bunch of random like side stuff. I have like on my page like things that I need to do, like content reels, blah blah blah, because I'm like, I just kind of want to gauge where I can go with my knowledge of anime and video games and the comedy on the side. So, and I've done a lot of random dope shit for the last 5 years, which is honestly, if I could just do random dope shit until I die, I'd take it.
Yeah, that's good enough for you, right? Like you don't, forgive me, I'm just assuming, but you don't give a shit about the money as long as it's enough money to allow you to do random dope shit.
I don't need to be a millionaire.
Right.
A lot of money would be nice.
Yeah, because then you can do more random dope shit.
Yeah, but the random dope shit I do is always paid for. I'm like, hey, buddy, as much as I would love to do your 7-hour video of blah blah, you're gonna have to show me some funds for this. I have.
Do you get hit up for a lot of stuff like that?
I do. Like, hey, if we send you this thing, will you post about it? I'm like, if you pay me and send me this thing, I will post about it. Because my last job, my big problem was that they wanted me to post things on my personal page. And I was like, absolutely not. The way that my shit looks is so important to me. And unless you guys are paying me more money, I ain't doing it. And then the company got shut down anyway. So I still got to keep this dope chair, though. So that's cool.
Oh, nice. They didn't, what do you call the people that come back and collect the car?
They asked for it back. It's mine now. So
no repo on the chair.
Nope. I'm just going to tell them I lost the chair. And then I'll just put a blanket over it on stream so they can't see.
Well, I imagine it seemed like when you were doing that, working, was that the Evil Genius job, right?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like so much, you had to provide so much content and streaming and that seems like an incredibly stressful gig.
It was, but it's mainly because I didn't like I would have an idea that I really like a sketch or an idea for a funny video, and then it would go through so many hoops of like direction and editing to the final product I was not happy with. And so it wasn't even what you wanted to put out. I wanted more say in how this turned out because it looks like shit. Like that was like my whole job, and my team was very supportive, but unfortunately my whole team got laid off, which is unfortunate and fortunate. It was fortunate because I knew it wasn't me personally, but it's unfortunate because that is just the nature when you work in this industry. Like these companies come and go. It's like, we have somebody invest all this money. We're going to make dope TikTok shit. And then 6 months it gets shut down.
Yeah, and it's such a world that we don't know anything about because we didn't grow up with internet. We have it now, but I'm thinking about like there's so much content still out there in the ether that has you still promoting whatever you used to work for. So I feel like some companies, man, they get a bang for their buck. Like if they got a streamer or someone who's doing stuff because that content's still out there promoting their company. I know you said they shut down.
Yeah,
that's a weird thing.
Yeah, and it's one of the, well, they didn't shut down, but they don't have a content side. It is, and it's like, yeah, like I started using the internet in like the 90s and it was all dial-up shit. Like my social media was LiveJournal and Zynga or whatever. And now, yeah, like I feel like a boomer.
My mom brought home this computer and she was like, everyone needs a computer in their house. And I was like, why? This is stupid.
But I was meaning the social media. What was the first one we had? What was it called?
MySpace.
MySpace. Did you ever have a MySpace?
Oh, absolutely. I was the queen on MySpace.
That was a bummer. Like that's what we talked to a lot of people who were like, that was the first thing. Like they built this huge, curated this amazing fans and or not fans, communities on their MySpace, and then Facebook came out.
The thing about MySpace that was so special is that now everything is too personable. You can go on someone's Instagram and see who they recently followed.
Yeah.
And then you can look at that person. You can go on people, you can go to their tagged photos. You can see who they talk to the most. Like it's I think the internet has made things so invasive for your privacy, and it sucks even more as someone who works in content. Like my whole job is to be incredibly online, but I'm still very selective about what I put out there. I don't talk about people I date. I don't talk about obviously where I live. I don't post pictures of my nieces or my family much. Like I very much am like, this is an entertainment account.
Do you write your comedy like that?
Is all my cat pics. That's about it.
Right. Do you write your comedy like that?
Kind of. A lot of my comedy is very nerd centric, but I am very personal on stage. I mean, I'm not going around being like, I sucked this guy's dick the other day, blah blah blah. I don't but no, I'm not afraid. I'm a woman in my mid 30s. I'm there. I feel like there's a lot of things that you deal with as a woman in your mid 30s where you're like, I have to talk about this.
Yeah.
I have to talk about what I'm going through right now and people love it. People find that stuff very relatable. Like, I don't want to see a 22-year-old going on stage talking about their back hurting. You know what I mean?
That would be my entire bit.
Yeah, like it's just like I feel like as someone who has a voice, you have an obligation to share things and to be open with people about certain things. It's a form of vulnerability, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The last little 5 minutes here on this timer, and then we'll go into the dish segment. Do you, on the gaming front, do you ever play the game Stray?
Yeah. I beat it.
Fuck. Oh, you did? Jesus Christ.
And my cat was like obsessed with it.
Because the
Who
meow.
is actually
Oh.
right behind me, my orange kitty. See how blended he is?
Oh,
You guys
wow,
Yeah.
this whole time.
Oh, I didn't know that was a cat. I seen the cat in the cat stand, but I
His
just.
white foot is
Oh, that's
right
awesome.
over the white
There he is. Yeah,
I
when I
didn't
would,
even see that.
I would play the game, he would watch because the cat on stream looked like him.
Oh,
Very cute.
And it also meows a lot. Was there any reaction to that? Well,
Oh yeah,
I'm just,
if they would like be like, because I don't use headphones because I don't like. It's a claustrophobia thing. I don't like wearing headphones. So I have a speaker, and so they can hear everything.
well, I thought that game was awesome. Was playing it with my son, but we can't. I don't know. Are you good
I
at?
don't have the patience to finish a game.
I guess that's the case. I
I
used
barely
to.
do, but I stream now, so it's like even if I don't have
That's
the
your
patience,
job.
I'm doing it for money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Ooh,
do it.
Let me ask you this question. Is it okay? Is there what's etiquette on, like, if you can't pass a board, is it okay to like Google it and find out how to do it? Or is it better to discover it on your own?
I'm very much like, you know, the term backseating.
You depend, not in the
Backseat driver?
gaming world, but
Yeah, like a backseat driver.
Mm.
In gaming, it's no backseating, as in don't tell
Ah.
me what to do, I'll figure it out. If I ask, I'll ask. Like, and even if I ask, people won't tell me. So they'll be
Oh.
like, no, bitch, you got to figure it out on your own.
That's good.
So, are you having to read people's comments on
Yeah.
when you're?
When I'm live, I have like a whole comment section and they're in real time.
How does your brain work that fast where you can read the comments and play your
That's
game?
what they do now.
It's
And talk.
honestly, it was not easy at first, and now it's like a second. It's it's like
It's probably like reading subtitles in a movie. Like when you first start reading them, it's like, I can't watch both at the
now
same
I
time.
can't watch
And then,
anything without subtitles. So I'm like,
thing right now.
well, and she's got a great joke about reading subtitles.
My
Like
dreams
she's
have
so into
subtitles?
anime that, yeah, her dreams come in subtitles.
I know, very silly. But no, like I've gotten really good at it, and it's one of those things where it's like I didn't even realize that was a skill until I've done it for so long. Same thing with stand up. Like stand up's easy, and then I see someone do stand up for the first time, I'm like it's actually not easy.
Yeah. Do you ever get any like comedians that will get pissed at you if you ever say stuff like that? Like comedy's easy, or that like, I
all
figured
the
I could do it.
I say streaming's harder than comedy. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I do. I've been doing comedy 3 times as long, and streaming is way harder.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
I guess I'm just so funny that I just think it's not that hard. Oops.
You were talking, I don't remember what show it was on, but I really connected with you. We're talking about the anxiety you get when things are going well. Is that something you still have problems with?
A lot, actually. And I talk about that a lot on stream, where it's like, you know, when you go through any sort of trauma or depression or whatever, like you get so used to being in a bad mindset that you're comfortable with it. And when I got my job 2 years ago and I got my apartment and like started getting good money and started being on my own again, the anxiety, the anxiety and depression I felt when I was sad got worse, because I was like, things are going well in my life, and not only am I uncomfortable with it because I'm not used to it, why am I not happy right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like if everything's going well, then there's obviously another thing on top of this that's not right. And that's obviously when I started doing therapy again. And it's kind of like a form of imposter syndrome a little, because it's like one of those things where it's like, do I deserve to be happy? Like, am I not happy because I feel like I don't deserve this? I think that's something a lot of people, I mean, it might be the same with you. Like it's just a lot of people deal with is like, you know, like if I got rid of my cancer, I lost all this weight, why am I still unhappy?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like people still, they don't understand that, yeah, like you're your mindset's not going to change in a day. You got to let things slowly ride out. And so, yeah. And talking about that, of course, had a lot of people being like, oh my God, I relate to that. Like, I thought it was just me, blah, blah, blah. And that's when it comes down to the whole, like, when you have a platform, it's really important to share things like that because that might help somebody, you know?
Yeah. It's good that you talk about it because mine comes from, just like you're just waiting for the ball to drop. It's like, there's no way all these good things could be happening for me for some reason. But yeah, I like the way you articulate it because it's a real thing. And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I also think that the word happy is kind of loaded. Like, you think that you have to be this high
all the time. The certain like, I'm so happy, I'm smiling. That's not how
it seems so
I don't think that's
I
don't think that that's unachievable. There are moments of happiness, but you can like real like giddiness, but you can be happy all day and be bored and not want to be doing things that you have to do.
And you can just be sad and not depressed too. Or you can be depressed and not sad. Like you can have, like I have depression, but I'm not sad all the time.
Right.
It's just that it's harder for me to achieve more euphoric things and more happiness. I have to really like find things I'm passionate about to achieve that. And I think people don't realize that emotions aren't just it's all on a spectrum, basically.
Yeah, and I guess Adrian, your point usually always was like it's societal based, like
it is. They
like
say
you have to be happy all the time, and with all the social media, everyone's always happy.
I just only want for you to be happy in life, and so you're like,
yeah.
I don't know. Is there something wrong with me because I don't feel very happy?
It's also like the hustle culture.
Yeah. You assume it's like Disneyland, but it's
of like
not.
You have to post everything. Everything has to be monetized, blah, blah. Constantly grinding and hustling to get stage time, to get views, it's not healthy. And like TikTok punishes you if you don't constantly post something.
Wow.
You know? And so it's like one of those things where it's like no one's going to be happy if your whole life is thinking, when is the next time I'm going to post something? And is people going to like it? Like, no, like people, you got to be more in tune with yourself and not what other people think.
Do you have any friends who don't have any social media?
Oh, yeah.
Are you jealous of them ever?
I really am sometimes. My best friend, I just went to Japan and Thailand with her account's private. She's very selective of who follows her, and she hates it because every time she posts a picture of me, she'll be like, I got 1,000 new following requests. I'm like, it's because you're hot. But I'm very envious of her because it's like, you know, I have had some pretty bad things happen in my life, and I've had to be hesitant of posting about it. And it's not because I don't want to be like, oh, I went from being goofy to sad, but because the responses to anything is so overwhelming when you have so many people following you. I have friends get mad if I don't message them back immediately. And it's like, look, I have to literally schedule my calendar to text people back.
Yeah.
It's not a good mindset, which is why I'm like, hustle culture is dumb because it's like, I don't even post that much and I'm still catching up on notifications. I'm very envious of my friends. Like when we got back from Asia, she was like, ugh, I don't want to go to work on Friday. I'm like, at least like you can just show up to work. You don't have to wear makeup.
Right.
You have the camera off. I was like, I have to like have my brain, not saying her job is easy, but having a creative mindset and having a creative job is so much more stress on me than when I worked in an office or when I worked freight, because it's like, you're requiring me to pull an energy that I can't force myself to pull.
Yeah, I am jealous often of people who go into work and then after work's over, they can just shut off. That sounds very nice. All right.
I bet the both of you are in this boat. What would you do if you did have to shut off?
Oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I would just sit there and be like,
this is stupid.
I guess I'll take a bath.
Well, you do say that, but I can turn on TV. Like I can turn on a Utah Jazz game and just completely check out.
Yeah, I already do. I play a lot of video games. That's how I check out.
Yeah. All right, we'll go on to the dish and then let you get out of here. I do finish this segment with the last two questions. The first of those is, who would you rather be locked in an escape room with, Kanye or Kid Rock?
Oh God. Oh, what a terrible question. Oh my God. I feel like Kanye would be more entertaining, but and I don't think Kid Rock would be able to figure out anything. I think Kid Rock is literally just the dumbest man alive. Like I would probably say Kanye just for the fact and be like, I was stuck in an escape room with Kanye. Like, no one wants a Kid Rock probably smells like cigarettes and ass. Like, Kanye probably smells good. I feel like I'd get an STD just standing next to the Kid Rock. At least Kanye, I feel like would give me money. So,
and then the last one of that was, what advice would 2023 Lisa give to 2010 Lisa?
chill. That's literally just chill. It's fine. Things will be fine. Just chill. I mean, things won't be fine in like 5 years, but then in like 10 years, they'll be okay. Like, I think my whole life, I've never been able to chill until now. And I'm in the least chill city in the world. And I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm just chilling.
So that's what you would tell yourself, but knowing who you were in 2010, would 2010 Lisa fucking pay any attention?
You'd be like, who the fuck are you? You got anime tattoos. I ain't listening to you. That's what she would say.
Oh, did you? What? So 2010, you hadn't had any of them yet.
No, these are all very
Who's
recent.
this anime tattooed woman telling me to fucking chill. All right, here we go. Let's get into the dish. Your first worsts, and now I'm going to call it thirsts, even though it's the favorites. Well, things you thirst for, favorites. What was your first comedy show you went to?
Nick Swartzen in 2007. Forgot which special it was, but it was a good one.
When was your first stand-up gig?
February 2014.
And did it go over well?
Kind of. It was a graduate comedy class that I took that was like not even a class. It was just a bunch of people prepping for an open mic. And it was really fun.
What was your first joke on stage?
I think at the time I was working in the grocery store and I might have made a joke about having to listen to Celine Dion for 8 hours a day. I don't really remember my old stand-up. I should probably go back and see, but I was very much, I felt like I was doing corporate comedy. It was like, what am I doing? Any of you guys work a 9 to 5, blah, blah. It was very like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't me.
It's an interesting concept though now. Well, I guess no one has a corporate job anymore.
Yeah, it was very much like I was uncomfortable being very personable and niche. So I just thought of like, what's the broadest thing I could talk about? And it was like work.
Yeah. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Steve Martin.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is so weird.
It is weird.
I know. You know what? He's looked 50 since he was like 25.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
yeah.
And the older you get, he's still going to look exactly the
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
It won't be weird or creepy.
What was the first anime that started it all for you?
Sailor Moon.
What was your first car?
1992 Ford Escort. It was a really shitty car.
Oh, yeah. It was a shitty, but it lasted long enough.
No, it lasted like 6 months. And then I had to get like a 1994 Ford Explorer, which also only lasted 6 months. And then I was like, I'm getting an Asian car.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, they last forever. What was your first tattoo?
I had the Zoso symbol from Led Zeppelin 4 tattooed on me.
Oh, are you a big Zeppelin fan?
Yeah.
What was your first paying job?
I worked at Arby's.
Oh, my best friend was the manager at Arby's.
15 years old.
When was the first time you got grounded?
Never been grounded.
Oh,
because
yeah.
my parents just didn't give us rules. And now I crave structure in my life. So,
See how that worked out.
yeah. See? Thanks, Mom.
What was the first scary thing you overcame?
Ooh. First scary thing that I actively remember having anxiety for. Because when I was a kid, I did a bunch of stupid shit. I would say doing shrooms.
Oh, boy.
When I was like 15.
That can be
I
a
was
scary moment.
I was an early bloomer.
Yeah, yeah. Were you in good company, though?
No.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
I started doing like drugs and drinking when I was like 13 or 14. Hence the parents not having rules for their kids. Turns out it's not good. So
what was the first big lie you told?
When I it's funny you asked this because I actually just got asked this the other day for a childhood podcast. But when I was 5 years old, I wrote "fuck you" on our bathroom wall to my sister, and then I lied and said my sister did it. Oh, and then my sister was like, "Lisa fucking did it." My parents never found out who did it. You never told.
That's fucked up.
I wrote "fuck you" in like a
pissed.
5-year-old's writing, which looks like a serial killer wrote it on the wall in our bathroom. So,
oh boy,
That's awesome. You could spell that.
I was a pretty feisty 5-year-old. So,
who was your first best friend?
that was not imagined in my head. My first best friend, I still talk to these days because, like, I was very close with my childhood friends. My first best friend was my friend Joe, who now lives in Portland. We started being emo kids together. Known him since I was 4 years old. Started being emo kids together, gamers. Started drinking together. And now he's married, has a wife, and he lives in Portland, and we're still friends.
That's cool. I always like to hear that people are still friends with their first best. All right, let's go to your worst. What's the worst sound?
The worst sound? A lot. Honestly, Amber Alerts. They just visceral reaction every time. Amber Alerts, siren, anything that you psychologically should not want to hear. Or also people chewing with their mouth open, things like that.
Yeah, those are good. What's the worst word?
The worst word?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are like, I hate the word moist. I'm like, I don't know why you hate that word. That word's never done anything to you. I don't think I have one. Now I think about it, I don't think I have a worst word. I hate it when people mispronounce things a lot, like when they say supposedly, like things like that. Where those are just nervous tics for me. Where I'm like, please stop it. Or it's like I could care less. You could care less, or you couldn't. Like you could, if you could care less, then care less. You're supposed to not care.
What's the worst pet?
That I've ever had?
Just the worst, yeah. Either what you have or worst thing to have as a pet.
The worst thing you could have as a pet? Oh, God. Probably like an exotic animal you shouldn't have as a pet, like a tiger or like a lion. Like something that belongs not in a drug dealer's mansion, something like that, I would say is the worst pet. But if you have one as a pet, I hope it eats you. How about that?
What's the worst superpower?
When I saw that question, all I could think about was the Family Guy episode where they all got superpowers and all Meg's fingernails could do was grow an inch.
Oh, no.
That's a pretty shitty one.
This is her only superpower, was that her fingernails could grow, but not even sharp enough to do anything. I'd probably say that's probably the worst.
What's the worst part about camping?
If you're with bad people, because I love camping. I love it. I love being outdoors. I'm always prepped for it. I've gone backpacking in the mountains, but if you're with a person that you don't want to be with, that is the worst part. Yeah, I mean, obviously the worst part would be getting mauled by a bear, but in general camping, it's like, I got to make sure I vibe with everyone first because I'm stuck with them outdoors for a few days.
What's the worst joke you told?
I mean, I tell a lot of really bad jokes. The Madea one, just because, why would I make a joke about Madea to begin with? But besides that, I don't know. For me, a bad joke is one that isn't received well, but I like a lot of dumb puns, and I'm very silly, and I get a lot of eye rolls for that, and I do not care.
What's the worst stand-up gig you ever had?
Oh, that one was pretty bad. But actually, back in 2016, I got asked to host for Arsenio Hall, which is great. He's fucking hilarious. The problem was that they didn't book a guest spot or a feature, and so I had to do a 30-minute hosting set. And I don't know if you know Arsenio Hall's audience, they didn't give a fuck about me.
Of course not.
And I had to do 4 of them. Like, they are a TV audience. They wanted to hear him. They didn't want to hear this skinny little weirdo being like, "Do you guys like Zelda?" It was the worst weekend I've ever done in stand-up.
And that you could feel every moment,
And even
right?
even if it was like well received, when a host goes on stage, no one expects them to be up there for a half hour. So it was like, you guys set me up to fail.
Yeah, that's bad. What's the worst part about stand-up?
The comedians. No, just kidding. No. The worst part about stand-up is the entitlement that comes with it. Like, we all are a little entitled. Like, we wouldn't do stand-up if it wasn't for us thinking, my voice is so funny. I'm so funny. I need people to hear it. I don't like the entitlement of other people. I don't like the competitiveness of it. It's like, motherfucker, we don't play an instrument. We're not we are literally going on stage and being goofy. There's no reason for you to compete with me. You just got to be funny. And I don't like to deal with that kind of energy. Like, I rub off of people's energy too well. And if I feel like I'm on a gig, or if I feel like I meet people and their only relationship with me is transactional, or they only want to find out if I'm funnier than them, or if they can take something away from me professionally, that's the part about stand-up I hate. It's like, it comes with a bad clientele sometimes.
Yeah.
On stand-up, it's like, if you don't put me on a show, if you don't offer a show, then I don't want to be your friend. And it's like, well, fuck you. You're missing out on a good friend.
What's the worst hairstyle you ever had?
Oh, I had the Karen cut forever. I did the emo cut where it was all spiky in the back, and then it was like long in the front. I often think about going back to that, but I'm not going to.
You should, just for a laugh.
Just to try it, yep.
What's the worst kid's toy?
The worst kid's toy? Anything that makes noise. I don't want to hear it. That's it. That's why it's like my sister, my nieces, I love them, but like, I don't want to hear the same thing all day.
Worst flavor?
Cantaloupe.
Oh, really? You don't like cantaloupe?
Tastes like barf to me.
Oh, does it?
Don't like cantaloupe. I don't like the smell. I hate cantaloupe. I hate the taste of cantaloupe. I don't want to be I don't even want cantaloupe to exist.
Well, that answers the worst smell question then.
Yeah, it honestly is. I hate the smell of cantaloupe.
Worst anime?
You have good throw up, I think, then.
Good throw up.
If it's
Or I've had bad cantaloupe. It's one or the other. The worst anime?
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, the worst animes I'm going to name off are probably ones that people don't know. But one people would know would be Ghost Stories dub, because Ghost Stories was an unpopular anime in Japan, and when they brought it to English audiences, it was so unpopular that they told the cast that they could say whatever they want, which sounds like it would be funny, but it's not. It's really bad. And then people were like, oh, this is so funny. I'm like, yeah, the 5 seconds on YouTube is. The other 19 minutes of the episode is being like, how many people can we piss off? Like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Pretty bad.
All right, here we go with your favorites. Favorite anime?
Gintama or Mob Psycho. You got them both on there.
Yeah. Favorite comedian? Oh, we know that one.
No, actually.
Oh.
It's Norm Macdonald.
Oh, my God. That's a great one.
I
R.I.P.
know.
Norm.
I love him. Rest
Good
in
answer.
peace. Yep. The way he interviews, honestly, I'm more a fan of him as a person than his actual stand-up, but comedian-wise, he's like pretty top tier.
Favorite stand-up special?
Probably Norm Macdonald does stand-up. Talking for Clapping's really good. I don't know. I'm pretty basic too. I really like John Mulaney's. What is it? The one he did. New in Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Did you watch Norm's that special that he did from his computer?
Yeah, right before he died.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking and
It
great.
was. There was some really good. I love that he made up a wife for like 20 minutes. That was my favorite part of it. It was like, of course, no, he's not married, but he's gonna tell 20 minutes of his wife jokes. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wasn't married.
That's how he is, though. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get, and I love it.
Favorite villain, movie or villain? I don't know, whatever villain.
Favorite villain, like in an anime, video game, blah blah.
Anywhere, yeah.
That's a tough question because there is a lot of villains that I really, really love. I'm trying to think of something that I haven't mentioned yet, I would say. Oof. That's a hard question. I mean, I'm going to go basic. Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda. There's plenty of different Ganondorfs, but he's probably the most iconic villain that I'm in love with that I can think of. He's tattooed on my shoulder.
Do you have a favorite bird?
Bird?
Yeah.
A shoe bird.
What's a shoe
Oh, a
bird? Is that the one with the shoe bill? The shoe bill?
Hornbill?
Yeah, those things are
shoehorned
cool
one.
looking.
Only because they
Those
also
are
had them
cool.
in Zelda.
Ah,
they're
yeah,
So
cool looking.
grumpy.
they do
They
look
don't look.
grumpy.
They look like Pokemon.
Yeah, they do.
They look like a Muppet.
They're cool. Favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, I haven't seen all the Adam Sandler movies, but Happy Gilmore is a good classic. There you go.
Yeah. Happy Gilmore. That's the golf one, right?
You know that.
I know I do. I watch it all the time, but-
I was like, yeah.
That's funny because Lee Trevino, one of the earlier questions,
Is in
he's
it?
in that movie.
Of course he is. Bob Barker is too.
Yeah. Favorite cereal?
Reese's Puffs or
Ooh.
Lucky Charms.
Oh, good cereals.
Honey
Nice and
Bunches of
sugary.
Oats. I'm smoke a lot of weed, so I have a big cereal connoisseur here.
What's your favorite children's show?
That is an anime.
Yeah.
Probably Arthur. I grew up in PBS, Sesame Street, Arthur, and Dragon Tales. But I also love. Okay, Pokemon is anime. Never mind. There's your question. Is answered.
Arthur's
there
a
you
good
go.
one. Arthur's good. Favorite TV show? Non-anime.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What was your personal favorite toy as a kid?
My Game Boy.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I
No
was
one
just-
says Game
I-
Boy anymore. Do you still have your Game Boy?
Yeah, I still have my Game Boy, still have my Nintendo, Super Nintendo, DS. I have all of it.
Favorite album when you were younger?
Ooh, Led Zeppelin 4, obviously. And then probably Enema of the State, Blink-182.
What's your favorite album now?
Wow, like a recent album that came out. That's tough. Cannons. I really like Cannons. They're a really good band. They just released an album last year and I saw them live. They're amazing.
Favorite late night snack?
Savory or sweet?
Do you go for savory at late night?
I do.
Oh,
I need one or the. That's why I'm asking because
yeah. Either one.
either one.
Both. What's your favorite savory, favorite sweet?
I like my favorite sweet late night snack is Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
Oh my God. I'd have a heart attack.
Yeah, I already have that. Or of course, Reese's Puff cereal is good. And honestly, any sweet. I have a bad sweet tooth. If it's savory, I like chips and salsa. I'm a chips and salsa person. But also, I used to make my own kimchi. And my
wow.
late night snack literally would be kimchi, rice, and an egg.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that was what I ate as a snack.
Did you do a little ball of rice?
Yeah,
Or
I
how
would.
would you
I
do
always
it?
prep rice and kimchi, and I would just grill an egg, and then there you go,
There you
fry
go.
an egg, and that
Yeah.
was my midnight snack.
That's a good snack. Last one. Favorite place for a vacation? Let me guess. No, I don't know.
I mean, Japan is pretty high up there, but if I'm gonna go more local, like not international, I love the Oregon coast,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
and it's a beautiful drive from Seattle. Unfortunately, I won't be doing that often anymore, though.
Well, in time. Well, we've been served the dish by Lisa Wallen or Lisa Lawlen. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
this is really
It's been
fun.
awesome chatting with you. What can we plug and what's in the near future for you?
Mainly just streaming and whatever silly things I post online. I do stand up in LA, and my goal next year is to do it outside of LA more. So, you can just plug really my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok. It's all at WISALALLEN.
Awesome.
No website.
No website yet.
Okay.
I really
Do you
am,
feel it's
like,
necessary for one these days?
It is now,
Okay.
especially since I need a new job. But it wasn't until now. Now I need
Yeah.
one. So hopefully I'll have one soon.
The best way for people to stay informed, you are really liking the Instagram thing. That's probably a good place for people to
Instagram,
get every part of
Twitter,
you.
Discord. Again, my link tree's in my Instagram, and you can see everywhere I am at all times.
Awesome. And you have final words for the people?
Just chill.
Awesome.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It was a pleasure chatting with you. You are technically our first stand-up comedian guest, and I was really excited about that because we want to have more stand-up guests on here, so we really appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers. Have a good day today.
Bye.
Bye.
Come on, girl. Reach out for me. Reach out for me.
All right. Awesome. Hey, thank you. Thanks again. Did you get my sense of
Thank you. Thanks again, Lisa.
Did you get my sense of sort of like Faith, right? Or was I off on that?
She's cute, like your niece Faith.
Yeah, like there's like a happy, like a fun kind of
She's cute.
thing there. So yeah, that was fun. I'm actually surprised I got as far as I did with the drawing. I'm really happy that I got to try to do my hands at the anime. I don't know what I'm babbling. I had stuff written down. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
I just didn't want to go right into something. I was gonna see if we needed to recap anything, but I think it was all there.
No, I think it was great.
Yeah.
Funny girl. I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what.
But they
She talked about something.
see what I mean about, I like comedians or people or streamers because they know how to talk and keep you engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some times when you get talking with people and it's like, oh man, especially like you glaze over, but it was interesting.
No, I just like to make people work. So I'll just be quiet and, and see what happens.
You do that to me.
I do that to a lot of people.
You wrote something down? Did you have
I
something?
didn't. I thought I was gonna write something down, but I didn't end up writing it down.
Do you know what it had to do with it all?
I don't, so we can just skip over that.
So again, I know I said it at the first, but sometimes people don't catch the first or skip over the first. The books are you can get bundles of Art by Ty books.
Back in town.
Art by Ty books are back in town. Go online at artbyty.com to get those books. There's only, a little bit. I only get a little bit released at a time. So once they're gone until the next time they repress them. Short run. It's a short run of books. Also, if you are a company or you want to promote something or anything like that, and you have something to give away for our giveaway at for the December 20th Strange Famous Records Christmas special from the DOD45, get in touch with us because it's a great way to promote any things that you have. We'll give it away as a gift on our episode. We're also going to be in Tucson, Arizona this weekend. Come see us. Trafficking art at the 4th Avenue Street Fair. We'll also be trafficking art in Florida in February and March in cities like Miami, Mount Dora, St. Pete's, Tampa, and Juno Beach. Check out the schedule for the artwork sales at artbyty.com. Anything final, Adrian, from you? Any last minute things? You got to pee? All right. Thank you so much. Go check out Lisa Wallen for some she's really funny, and go check out if you follow streamers or you just do all that. You know how to do all of that. You heard about it. You saw it. Stay the hell away from us at Twix, at DOD45 Show, and our .coms and socials are all right there. You can see them. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy drawing, happy conversing, and thanks for conspiring with us. We're out of here. Peace.
DOD45.
Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at Art by Ty on all the socials or at artbyty.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.